Believing in yourself matters. It matters greatly. And I know it sounds cliche, and I know that you probably heard it 1,000 times. Believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in yourself. But here is why it's actually so important. May this find who it needs to find in divine timing. Let this be an auspicious sign to you to really hone in on maybe like you're expending a lot of energy on something else, something that's outside of you, something that doesn't help you grow. Maybe it's time to cut that out. You know, maybe you watch a follower celebrity that doesn't add any value to your life, any true value. So maybe instead of browsing on their page or looking at the hot gossip or looking at a TV show or watching a movie that isn't teaching you anything that's worth it, time to channel that energy, because all of that is energy being spent, attention being spent. And look at you. Look at your wins. Look at your failures as wins, because you've learned the lessons. Now you've got the wisdom. Now you know how to move forward. And all of that can help you to believe in yourself. Just say this thing one day, every day. Say this one thing every day and watch your whole life change. If there's a goal that you want to meet, if there's a dream that you have, but you're lacking some self-belief, you're lacking some self-confidence, really sit, once you say this out loud, really sit and ponder that. Why not me? Because it can so easily be you, okay? The only difference between you and other people is that they believe in themselves. And that's when the hard work, the dedication, the hours, that's when you can weather the closed doors, the no's, the reroutes, the detours. You can weather the fact that you may not be seeing progress. That's when you can step away from comparison and you can live in your own truth, in your own story, and be like, hey, you know what? I still believe in myself. I still know what's going to happen. Because you have that self-belief, because you're saying to yourself, why not me? There's nothing that I can't do. That's basically what when you're saying why not me, you're signaling to the universe that at the core of you, you understand that you are worthy of this. There may be work that you have to do. There may be adjustments that you have to make. And we've all been there. But why? At the core, why not you? I want to be a millionaire. Okay, why not me? Oh, you see someone. I know, but Spirit was like, keep that close to your chest. Keep that here. I was going to say like a personal one, but Spirit was like, keep that here. But why not me? I'm going to say it out loud though. I'm not going to say the thing, but I'm going to say it out loud. Why not me? So belief matters because, again, there are things that are unseen in this world. There's the spiritual realm, okay? When you talk about quantum physics and the fact that two molecules that could be across the world from each other. Say I met someone in America, right? And then they moved to Japan. Quantum physics dictates, suggests, is teaching us that I Even though I may never see this person again in the physical, we are still connected energetically. Two molecules across the universe can be connected through quantum physics, and that is the unseen. Quantum physics is all about what you can't see. Neutrino particles. We are learning that there are particles, or there is an energetic force. There is, they want to call it matter because they're calling it a particle, but there's an unseen force that actually dictates the atomic structure. So there's atoms, there's protons, neutrons, and electrons that make up atoms. And I think there's even compounds, I can't think of them, that make up protons, neutrons, and electrons. But there's something that is unseen, that is even smaller, that actually is pulling the strings. And through, other imaging, right? Like I don't know what type of imaging they use. Like I don't know if it's UV rays, or it's like they basically, and UV rays are very unseen, very spiritual in nature. So I believe they use some type of UV rays, and they do some sort of like imaging, enhanced imaging, right? But they freak it. Because to see something unseen, you can't do the normal stuff. You can't just see with how we see. You got to freak it a little bit. And they found traces. It's like the neutrino particles, they leave an imprint. You can't actually see the neutrino particles, but you can see the imprint that they leave. It's like a little map. And I say all of this to say, there are things that you can't see. There's energetic frequencies and principles that we can't see, that's working in the background, that actually is supporting the life that we live in this physical reality. So the reason why believing in yourself matters so much, because you're sending that energy to those unseen forces, to spirit, to the universe, who has a conscience, who has a consciousness, goodness gracious, that thinks, that is alive, it's hard to say because it's an unseen force, and to limit it to how we think and say it's incompatible. It's almost like apples to oranges, but they're both fruit, right? So it's like a levee. Think about a levee. So you're putting all this energy into this container, and it's held up, or into this region, right? The region of your dreams, the region of your finances, the region of your love, right? If you think you're supposed to have, or you're meant to have, a fairy tale love, Cinderella story, even if you will. And there's a levee that's holding it up. There's a dam. And you keep pouring it in, and you keep pouring it in, and you keep pouring in your belief. Then eventually, so much momentum, so much energetic momentum will have been accumulated. So much energy has been put in through your thoughts, your feelings, and then eventually your actions, right? Because what you believe shapes your reality. Now, all of a sudden, you're actually taking steps towards your dreams, but you start to do this unconsciously. Start to eat better, start to take care of yourself. You stop watching things that is no longer for you. Your vibration starts to raise, your frequency starts to raise. You start making different decisions. You start breaking out of loops that has been holding you back. You stop limiting yourself. You change your mindset. All through that belief, you pouring in yourself, you telling yourself, why not me? And all that belief and all that comes with you believing yourself is being accumulated into this region, this spot. And think about it as like a threshold that needs to be reached, right? There's a certain amount of energy, a certain amount of belief. It's like you believing in yourself so much it has to happen. Those are like the laws of the universe. But to put it in physical terms, it's like, okay, well, I believe, but I only believe a little bit. Why is not happening? There's a threshold. You got to believe in it so much that it's so many neutrino particles that is saying, I believe, I believe, I believe. So with so many neutrino particles that's affecting the actual physical realm, that the actual physical realm, your actual physical reality has to change. So think about it like that levee. The neutrino particles, this is your physical reality. These are the atoms. The atoms are stuck. They're stagnant. The physical reality is dense, right? And then you're pouring in water. Water is less dense than solid material, right? That's why it's called the liquid, solid, liquid, gas, right? So your belief is definitely unseen, right? So think about your beliefs and all the energy that you're putting in. It's like a gas, right? And these gases, no, let's stick with the liquid. Let's just stick with that. So it's like liquid, and you're pouring in all of this liquid, all of this liquid, all of this liquid, and it has to give way. You're pouring in it so much that the levees have to break. When the levees broke, I mean, that's probably in poor taste. But that's just what popped in my mind. So much water is being accumulated, and it just can't hold it anymore. And this is your physical reality. And now your beliefs has now spilled out onto the physical reality. And now your dreams are coming true. Now you get that job that you always wanted. You start that business and you're successful in it. Because maybe with only a little bit of belief, you might could have, you know what I'm saying, you might could have thrown a couple buckets over top the levee, catapulted it. But it's not sustainable. It would have dried up. It wasn't enough water. But as you keep adding your belief, it's big. Think about the belief as that energetic, is the energetic water that you need to break through your physical reality. That's why believing in yourself is so essential. Tell yourself, look yourself in the mirror, why not me? Know at the true core of you that there is nobody and nothing that is inherently better than you, right? Or that you can't grow to meet. Confirmation proof. There is nothing, there is nobody who is inherently better than you. We all have that same intelligent energy running through us. If you think about how many cells, how many trillions of cells, our DNA strands is miles long. And our cells are constantly producing those DNA cells. The RNA sequencing that are proteins that make the proteins, and what these proteins do and how they fit, and just the genius of biology. That's why, they don't really, they kind of do teach it. They do teach it in school, but our architecture and mechanics are built upon things we find in nature, things we find within ourselves. And a hydraulic pump is the same thing as how our blood vessels work. Our blood vessels and our muscles and our heart. Our heart is the ultimate hydraulic pump. And then our circulatory system is the hydraulic system. We model planes. The helicopter looks like a big old dragonfly. There are so many things that we've modeled after this greater design. And who designed it? That is the force, that is the energy, that is the intelligence that makes up you. You know, they say our autonomic nervous system controls how we breathe and the beating of our heart and all that good stuff. But you think our autonomic nervous system has to do with cell regeneration? Because when a person is, even when a person is brain dead and they're being saved by life-saving machines, they're still, how do I explain it? They're still alive. When you feed them, they still digest, right? So there are still forces that are beyond our nervous system that are a part of us, that makes up us. The cells that are absorbing, the DNA that is still replicating, the mitochondria that is still working. There is an intelligence that lives within you and within everyone. So no one is inherently better or more worthy. And then on the flip side, you may have a lot of growing to do. That don't automatically mean you can step out here and you decide like, oh, all right, you know what I'm saying, I'm about to feed my delusions to the max. And I call it, and I'm calling it a delusion right now. You'll see why I'm saying it. I'm about to feed my delusions to the max. I believe in myself 100%. And I don't have to do any work. I don't have to put in any work. I don't have to do any adjustments because I'm inherently worthy and yada, yada, yada. So I deserve to have a multi-million-dollar business. Universe got ways of showing you, like, you have to grow to that. They'll give you an opportunity that's not even half. You know what I'm saying? They'll give you a windfall of money. You hit the lottery for $5,000. Boop, you blew it in a couple days. Are you ready for a multi-million-dollar? You may be worthy of it, but are you ready for it? Can you sustain it? So beliefs should start to permeate into your actions, true belief. And that's why I call that a delusion and not really a true belief, because beliefs should actually have you to start, healthy beliefs should have you start to change your physical reality, even if it's unconsciously. Or maybe the beliefs weren't grounded. Maybe I should say grounded beliefs. You know, make sure your beliefs are grounded in the physical realm. Okay, what it take for me to do this? I believe I can do it. So what does it take? Not I believe, and so the universe just is gonna pop it into my lap. We're in the physical reality. There is work that needs to be done. Just like there's energetic work in believing in yourself, there's physical work that needs to be done. And I feel like there's a mismatch of a balance as to why maybe people are like, well, what's the use of believing in yourself? Like, it doesn't do anything. Well, you have to follow that up with action. Faith without works is dead. And people used to always tell me that because my name is Faith. Or this one guy, like, and I used to be like, he used to be like, faith without works is dead. Faith without works. And I used to be like, oh my gosh, if you don't shut up. I've always had a good work ethic, but I'm just like, why are you telling me that? Like, shut up. Like, I used to not like it because all throughout my life, gotta have faith. Da 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 da. Faith, faith, faith. And I used to be like, yo, alright. I'm not even in a good mood today. Alright. But I actually have grown to appreciate it and really deeply appreciate my name. Without belief, you can't have faith either. So maybe you need some shit to shake. You're really counting on that energetic threshold. You're putting in energy, you're putting in work, you're putting in this, you're putting in that, and nothing's really too much changing at first, right? And you know, your physical reality is kind of looking like, I'm gonna need something to shake. I put my all in this. I need to move. I need to do this. I need to do that. And it's going to take a leap of faith, right? But somebody just invited you to a party that will potentially change your life, for an example, right? And it's like, do I go to this party, or do I, do the safe option that really doesn't indicate that I believe totally in myself? Without that belief, you can't take that leap of faith. That's like, oh, I went to that party and I got offered me a contract and we in there like swimwear, like it is hot out here. And this is my lymphatic system too. My lymphatic system be on 100. I feel like, y'all, it's good though. It's good. I eat too much hot sauce. And that shit's salty. So I be retaining a lot of fluids. And so when I get hot, like, it'd be like, all right, time to adjust. I'm like, damn, all right. Anyways, not always though. If I don't eat a lot of salty foods, I tend not to sweat a lot. So if you know, you know. Lymphatic system drainage, very important, guys. So back like, y'all was like, I ain't need all that. So back to somebody might have, you never know. So back to it. It's so important for you to believe in yourself, okay? That is what is going to change your physical reality. Your beliefs. That's that energetic heaviness. And the more you believe, the denser it is, the more fiercely and passionate you believe in yourself, where you're not gonna let actions, oh, I gotta do this. Oh, fuck it. I know I can do it. I believe I can do it, but fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, no, I truly believe I can do it. Because when I see that I need to do this, I'm like, yeah, I can do it. I definitely can do it. That's nothing. When you hear somebody say, oh yeah, that's nothing, I can do it, rather than somebody that's like, you know what, I believe I can do it, but I don't want to deal with all that. What does that say to you in your brain? It says that the first person that's like, no, I can do it, believes in themselves way more than that second person. Because that second person, sometimes laziness is laziness, but sometimes laziness indicates a lack of belief. Well, I don't know. I don't really know if I can do all that. I don't really know if I can keep all of that. And even if you're at that point, always know you can grow to it. It's never like it's this. It's never all at once. Take it step by step. So if you are one of those people who is struggling in your beliefs, or has a little bit of beliefs but it's not really anchored, know that you can always grow. Okay, you don't have to start out at 100. You can start out at 5, work your way up to 10, to 15, to 20, to 30, to 40, to 50, to 60. You can always work your way up. You can start small. And something small can grow to be big. Same thing with your beliefs. And as you start to say I don't really, you know, I believe that I'm worthy for it, but I don't really know if I can do it. I'm not really truly believing in my capabilities to do what it got to take, you know. Do the first thing. Just focus on the first task. Then it's like, yo, I did that first task. I did it. Then do the second task. It's like, yo, I did the second task. And the next thing you know, you like, oh my gosh, I'm halfway through. You know what? Boom, your belief in yourself skyrockets. Yo, I can really do this. I'm really meant for this. Hold up. And so that's why it's important just to start off with the why not me. Start that off speaking it to yourself for 7 days. Look yourself in the mirror. Say it boldly with your chest out, like, why not me? Because why not you? All right, lovelies, this is where I leave you. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Hype me up. Hype your girl up. I appreciate you guys who do subscribe, who do like my videos. Even if you are a silent watcher, I appreciate you too. Because it all matters. You all matter. Oh, and I'm so grateful. Goodness gracious, Allie Macious.